The big retailers say they expect the Boxing Day sales to generate more than $1.7 billion across the country. Some David Jones and Myer department stores opened at 5 o'clock this morning, with most other retailers, though, opening their doors tomorrow. Margy Osmond from the National Retailers Association says consumers are expected to spend big at this year's sales.
Well, look, we're anticipating that the spend today alone should be something in the vicinity of $1.7 billion, and for the week as a whole, probably somewhere around $5.5 billion.
So is that above expectations and above sales from last year?
We'd certainly hope it's going to be a lot more robust than last year, but effectively the 4 weeks up to Christmas have been a little disappointing and a little bit soft.
Now, I know in Sydney this morning some of the stores were open at 5 a.m. I'm not sure what time you headed into the CBD, but are there a lot of people around at the moment?
Yes, look, I mean, I'd have to say that there were thousands of people through the store very early this morning, and they are open till midnight tonight. But the groundswell of people here has increased dramatically in the last couple of hours. It is very busy up the other end of Pitt Street Mall.
Well, we're just going to have a listen to what some of those customers had to say earlier today.
I just wanted to experience the Boxing Day sales. It's pretty chaotic. It's good in the sense, there's a few, good bargains you can get.
We just thought we'd come and check it out.
We usually make fun of everyone that does the Boxing Day sales, but yeah, feeling a bit hypocritical right now.
I think they're too good to miss this year.
Most of the prices, have been really good. I'm really happy.
And how large are the discounts in many of the stores? Because quite often we see throughout the year sales of up to 30%. So what are the discounts like this year?
Well, you're seeing 70% and in some instances even a little more than that. So I think that given the unkind weather that we had in the few weeks running up to Christmas, there'll be some fabulous fashion opportunities over the next few days. So it's a case of great time to be a shopper.
And where are the bargains to be had on what goods or what industries?
Well, look, it's definitely fashion, it's definitely brand items, it's homeware items. This is the time of the year when everyone stocks up on sheets and pots and things like that. But there's definitely a trend to young, very savvy shoppers coming in this morning and wanting fashion, and brand names to boot.
And how much are the retailers really depending on this? Because it's been a very slow Christmas for many of them.
Look, this is an incredibly important time of the year for retailers anyway, but given that we've had a somewhat lacklustre run up to Christmas, it will be even more important. But I think we can't mislead ourselves. This is not necessarily going to be enough to spell any kind of recovery for the retail sector, who will be moving into their most difficult time of the year, which is the first quarter of the year.
But throughout the year, many of the retailers have been disappointed even with the sales. Do you think there is an element where the consumer has just become used to sales? Like there were many places in the lead up to Christmas that had 40% off. So what would entice them into the Boxing Day sales?
Well, look, I think the issue is that Australian consumers have become incredibly conservative. They're saving at a rate we haven't seen for 20 years. So unless it's on sale, particularly for young shoppers, they're not interested. In addition to that, though, I think that the Boxing Day sales are a bit of a special case. It's an event as much as it is a shopping exercise, and so many people will come here without a fixed idea of what they want to buy, simply to be part of the buzz.
And what about the online sales? How much will they factor into the retailer's sort of total result?
Look, I think it's sometimes a bit misleading to talk about online. Many people say that it's only about 4% of shop, but when you actually go into the discretionary areas like fashion, it's much higher. It's as much as 13, 14%. So it's a really big slice out of their market when you look at overseas online sites. So that's going to continue to be a very big worry and one that we think the government needs to deal with.
Margy Osmond, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Bridget.